Hi, you guys. If you're a songwriter or you're playing guitar and you're writing songs for yourself and you want to learn some chords, lots of times you learn these, what I call their first position chords, where you learn a C here. Those begin to sound, I've heard some of the most gorgeous voices. One comes to mind. I was on 3rd Street in Santa Monica in California, and this girl had the most beautiful voice, but she was accompanying herself with these chords, and it just wasn't doing her any justice, because the fact of the matter is that well, I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. If I go to record on somebody's record or whatever work I've done in the past, unless it's country, I don't use that C. We have this C. We have this C. We have this C. We even can lift everything up in just C's too and have this C. We can even lift everything up with this and have this C. This is a C. Back to C. That's it. That's how I would play a D major. F. I wouldn't play this bulky one. So let's learn some of these chords. First of all, let's see if we can get in a little closer. Just a C chord. I mean, right? That right there is usually the way we play a C. It just happens to be in that song. He just happens to outline it over here. But really, a C chord, you guys, most G chords, first of all, are not like this, unless it's country or folk. Otherwise, we double up our fingers here on the our pinky is on the 3rd fret on the high E string, and on the same fret on the string of the B above it is my ring finger, and I've got my G here. My middle finger's on the 3rd fret on the low E, and my index finger is on the 2nd fret on the A, and this is the G that's normally played. And the reason is it's a nice full sound. It can even be used with distortion. There are guys out there that are going. So in other words, with distortion, even I happen to pick a song I don't know, but you guys get the idea. They're full. So this is, first of all, let's play our G this way. After that, let's throw that C out the window, unless you are looking for that specific sound. Let's take these 2 fingers and just move them down towards the ground, down this way. Sometimes down is up and up is down with guitar. I never know. So let's take these 2 fingers and move them to the next 2 strings. So they're staying in the exact same position. 3 here on the 3rd fret here and 2nd fret, but now it's going to be on the 3rd fret here on the A string and the 2nd fret here. And this is your C. So your G and your C should be here. That's where it's most commonly played. So if you're a songwriter and you're learning to write songs for yourself, you definitely want to go to this C, because I'm going to start to show you the options that you have once you get here. Once you get here, if we slowly dismantle this chord, that's a funny way to put it. If we slowly dismantle this chord by reducing our fingers in certain places, it just becomes a different form. It's still a C chord, but you have all kinds of sounds. For one, we have this one. Now let's dismantle it. Let's just take our pinky away. Okay, so we're going to let the high E string ring. Okay, so now we have this C. So from that to this, or this, lift up our pinky. Now we have that C. Now, if we even want to, I don't know, air it out or let it breathe a little more, we can actually lift up this and only hold these two fingers in place. And we're not going to play the bottom E string ever, not on a C chord, as there ain't no E in C. And I just made that rhyme this time. All right, enough with the cheap rhymes. But with this, I'm going to play all 5 strings. So now I have this to choose from. This, I can lift up this finger. I can use this as a C if I want. And last but not least, you can literally, now with this, you guys have to be careful not to hit the bottom E string, okay, or the low E string. We're only going to play the 4 strings in the middle, but you want to lift this up and you're going to play this plus the 3 strings beneath it. So it's so we have this C, we have this C, we add this, and that's actually a C chord as well. It's sort of a substitution chord, but that's probably not going to be, if you're writing songs, you're just going to be looking for these, like all these positions. So right there's our C. We have one. We have this version of it. That's 1. We have 2. Lift up our pinky. We have 3. Lift up this. We have 4. And pick this up. Now we have 5 versions of a C chord. You can add. Now B minor. Sometimes it's used and sometimes it's not. I'm going to play something familiar, even though I'm just going to play G. Then I'm going to play a chord. I'm going to walk into a C. So I'm going to go. One more time. We've heard that a million times. But what is this? This is a substitution for this B minor. If you don't want a real strong, if you don't want, and it's more commonly used, this chord is more commonly used in music. If you're a songwriter, I'm not trying to flip you off. I'm sorry about that. My finger just goes that way on purpose. And the more I try to pull it down, the more it's fighting me. Just there. behave. But no, but seriously, now it's the only thing I could see. But let's get it out of the way, okay? You guys found my level of humor. It's like, I don't know, about, I don't know, 9 years old. That's when I find that stuff funny. So anyway, this chord is substituted for this chord so much, so you don't really hear this. Now you hear this. Now you're starting to see why the G's here. The next chord, all I have to do is not hit this. I'm sorry guys, I'm still laughing. Not hit this low E string, and my finger here, all I have to do is lift it up. Every time I move my middle finger now, I feel like I'm being, you know. Anyway, so what we have to do is pick this up and play the bottom 5 strings. Leave your index finger where it's at, and that's a substitute for B minor. So that's why we can walk up. So now we have G, B minor, and with this we can also pick up our pinky if we want to get that chord. So now we have, or, and now we have C, right? So here, B, C, G again. B minor, but it's not a B minor. It's a substitution that we play in its place. Just playing the bottom 5, and then here. A minor is hardly ever played this way. Usually people pick up this finger and play what's called an A minor 7. It's just a lot smoother, and it's not so rigid as a minor sounds, you know, extremely rigid. An A minor 7 is just an A minor, but we're picking up this, so just playing the bottom 5. So B, our substitute, C, D. Now this D is just D. I mean, this doesn't get changed much. I mean, we can always lift this up and add our pinky right here, kind of, you know, do the whole. We can. This is called, would be a D suspense, sus. So we can play D here, our D. All these songs are coming to mind. Queen. Anyway, let's see. That's not the rhythm. I can't get the rhythm in my head. That's why I can't get it in my head. But now, if we're here, and I'm gonna go to D, then E minor. I'm going to play my G here, and you guys, this is so common. I'm just going to play it so you... I'll play it again. What's happening is we have our G, and this is in fact a D chord, but what's going on is if we look at this D chord here, and we look at this note, well, this is the same note, this bass note up here. That's an E, that's an E, this is an F sharp, and that's an F sharp. So what's happening is, instead of us playing the note here, we're literally putting, we're playing it here, and we're leaving the high E open. And it's a very nice voicing for a D, especially if you're going from G. You can also play that as a G. So you can just go back and forth. D here. So what I'm doing here is I have my pinky put down on the 3rd fret on the B string, and my middle fingers on the 2nd fret on the G string, and my index fingers all the way around the 2nd fret on the low E string. And if it happens to kill this A, it doesn't matter, because whether if the A is in there, it sounds fine, and it sounds just as good. If it's dead, it doesn't matter. But when you get down to the bottom here, you're holding this chord here. I guess you could play it this way. My fingers just feel more comfortable playing it this way. But you want to leave the E open, the high E open. So we're putting this note here, but we're playing these 2 notes, and we're just leaving that high E open. And that's another form of a D. So many times you'll hear, look, I'm about to go into a rock song, but right? Living easy, living free. Anyway, see, that's the way they played the D, so they can get to the G. So I don't know where all these rock, heavy metal sort of, I guess I grew up listening to a lot of rock music, but so that's a D voicing. If you're a songwriter, you probably want to know that, because if we get here, it sounds nice to walk down G, then we're walking down this D. So when we get to E minor, so for an E minor, and we walk up the G to A, minor 7 to B. See how I'm walking up with bass notes? So we have E, D, G, now A minor, B, substitute for B minor, C. Now if we went up here, now we just play regular E. And we're back to E. Now, it's no accident that these chords are all fitting together, because they all relate to each other. So E, D, G, A minor 7, B minor or substitution, C, D. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1 again. And what we just did with the chords is went 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Except I didn't start on the G. I started on the E. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But I could start on the G and show you A, G, this way. And this if you start on G, this is the way that these chords relate. In other words, from major to minor. So for example, if we start on G major, the next chord up is a full step interval, and it's a minor, so it's A minor. The next chord up, and this key, this is, all these actually make sense because it goes major. It's sort of a quick theory thing of how to walk up the major scale and play the right chords, because when you learn that, you'll learn that if it goes G to minor to minor to major to minor, and you move to a different key and you start on A and you follow up the same pattern, you're going to go, well, theoretically, all these chords are going to fit following the space, the interval. So we'll walk up the major scale here with the G. We have G, A minor, not major, minor, another full step, B, now C, D, E, F sharp, but I'm playing the D, back to G. So if you remember whatever your chord you're starting on, oh heck, let's just go to the whole 9 yards. Let's go to the key of C, and we'll do the same thing here so you guys can start to see the pattern. The first chord is going to be a C. You know what, you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a whole lesson up on chords that relate to each other. Now, all these chords right here in the key of G, I'm using them because I know they all fit together. And if you subscribe and push like and say, hey dude, show me how all the chords fit together, well then I'll shoot a video on that. See how that works? If not, I was thinking about washing my car. Actually, it's getting a little dirty. Nah, I'm just playing around. But you know, you have chords. These chords are theoretically in the right order. So that's why they're flowing. But I really wanted to show you these chord voicings. I didn't want to get into the lesson of chords that relate to each other, but we're going to get into it. So hit that little bell, hit that little subscribe thing, and hit that little bell so when I put up a lesson, it's going to say chords that relate. And after that, you're going to learn, no matter what key you're in, you're going to learn that there are 7 chords, just like this key. Here's one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, and the 7th chord would bring me back to G, right? But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I knew something was wrong there. 6, then 7. So I have 7 chords that are going to sound good no matter what, no matter where I go. Now, after I shoot the lesson of all the chords that relate to each other, you'll now know that don't write a song with 7 chords in it just because you can. That's the first thing I want to get out the gate. If you, there's a little secret I'm going to let you in on. If you want to be like a big, like have a hit, put 3 chords in that song. 4 if you're feeling daring, because every hit in the world is only 3 chords. I mean, really. I could go through them all. There they are right there. We got My Life in a Slow Hill, Different Girl Every Night in a Hotel, right? Let's see. I'm sorry. You know, like every rose has a thorn, but that's only 2 chords. So, you know, really catchy songs. I just don't want you guys, you know, going like. Next thing you know, you're all. Actually, that sounds like a pretty. Sort of let's see. That's actually way too many chords to sound that good. If you guys are interested in this, is more really, I'm joking around kind of, but I'm serious. This is more of an R&B sort of rhythm. If you guys want to get into that stuff, you're gonna have to venture into some of these chords. These. A lot of people would call them jazz chords, but I call them chords that are used in like R&B type of. Whoops, sorry, R&B type stuff. I just realized what song that is. All I'm gonna say, something like, "I'm gonna get you a diamond ring, girl, you're my everything." I just realized it. "I'm gonna get you a house on the hill, you're my shining star." All I'm gonna say is Justin Timberlake and some other guy wrote a song. Yeah. I'm not gonna sing it. I don't know why I keep going here when the chord's here. B minor 6 chord. So everybody, here we go. Get you diamond ring. Come on. Boom. So anyway, enough of the shenanigans. You guys are just learning how to play. I will put up chords that relate to each other, but that doesn't mean that you can't play outside of the chords that relate to each other. It just means that you have you're not guessing anymore. You're like, I want this to flow. You can, if it sounds good and it's not within the 7 chords that relate to each other theoretically, and it sounds good, play it. You know, music is it's not all theory, you know, but a lot of people stay very much within the 3 or 4 of the chords. But we'll talk about that at that time. All right, you guys. Just wanted to. I'm gonna buy you a diamond ring, girl. You're my everything. I can't even sing it without laughing. All right, you guys. I'll see you on the next guitar get together. So don't play those cheesy chords. Learn the cool chords. That's what I'm saying. You know, so that you sound really good. All right, you guys. I'm just in a joking mood. But you guys, thanks for coming by and have a good one. And I got that song now. I got that song now in your head. You ain't gonna hear now nothing else. Or you're not gonna hear right now. Dun. But I did it, but who do 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 da 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 ho ho hey dun dun. So you know.